Hi there, today I'm bringing We Set the Dark on Fire by Tehlor Mejia, and I have to say I love this one. I can hardly believe that this is a debut novel, that this is the first book that she has ever written, because the quality is just staggering and the plot is amazing and the characters, oh my god, the characters. I have to say something before I begin the review, and it's going to be like throwing stones on my own floor, whatever, because it's that sometimes if there is a book that goes to you and you began reading reviews saying that the book has that shortcoming or that other shortcoming, maybe you will end up thinking, okay, this book is not for me. And this happened to me with this book. It was published some time ago, some months ago, and the plot and the things, it got me attracted, but then I began reading things like the plot goes nowhere. And I have to say, well, I respect what other reviewers think, because I believe that not everyone feels the same thing reading a book. I mean, I don't think two people can draw the same experiences reading the same book, because every one of us, we have our own luggage and we have our likings and our hobbies and our interests and our phobias and our things. So probably a book that I love will be a book that maybe other people will hate. So yeah, that's one thing. But I have to say, I'm respecting the opinions of people who say that this book has no plot. It's like, what? It has an amazing plot and it never falters. It attracted me like crazy, and I'm going to explain the plot later, but bear with me here. I also read that this book has Insta Love, and it was like, that was the thing that put me off first, because I hate Insta Love. So I was a bit worried, because there was this reviewer saying that when the main character sees the other character a bit undressed, it's like, bang, she falls in love then. And I have to say that I was a bit scared because I was, I don't know, not half the book, but I had read quite a lot of it, and I was scared that moment will appear and the Insta Love will materialize and I will hate the book. But I have to say that I did love how the relationship between the two main characters began to smolder and then to flame and then to consume. And I have to say there is no Insta Love, at least for me, in this book. I have to say that I think the relationship between the two characters is so well constructed. And the part where one of them sees the other almost without clothing, it's so well writing, and I can understand how she feels, how she begins to compare, and she thinks that she's comparing herself with the other until she realizes that she's not comparing, she's liking what she sees. And I love how it makes her think about everything that she knew about life, about love, about attraction, and see how she begins to change the scope and to think that maybe things that were forbidden are not so. So I love that. I have to say that I love this book. Okay, after saying that, what I'm trying to say is that despite that fact that maybe you are going to see reviews that say that a book is not for you, if you feel like you have to read it, just grab it. Maybe don't buy it, go to a library, I don't know, but or ask a friend to lend it to you. I don't know, and if you like it, then you can buy it. But if you're afraid of spending money in a book that you are not sure, remember there is libraries, librarians and friends and wherever. So this is all because I was put off of reading this book. Now that I finished, this is my first lecture of the new year. And I have to say that I gave it 5 stars over 5 stars, and for me it's a real keeper. What we have here, it's a new wall where there is this story about two gods that fight each other, and then it serves as an excuse to have this division between people. There is I'm not going to explain much because I want you to, as always, to discover the plot and fall in love with it. But we are going to find this wall where people live in an island, and there is this big wall separating people, the healthy people, the rich people, the people who have everything, and then near the wall and over the other side of the wall we have people who aren't so lucky, who don't have money, don't have resources, don't have hospitals, and they are poor and they are living meager conditions, and if they try to cross the wall, they can be killed for that. So we are going to have this separation between people with power and people without power. Also, we are going to have this main character who it's been taught to be a primera and a segunda. What is this? Well, there is, like, as I said, there was this legend, and there's this division in which women can be primeras, who are women who control themselves, who are very intelligent, who always know to show this stony face, who apparently have no feelings because they control them very well, and they are married to a man and are expected to be like this launching pad for him. They are not married for love, they are sold to the man. And also there is this segunda figure. Segundas are very attractive physically, they are allowed to have lots of feeling, and they are the ones who are going to have sex with the man and to have daughters and sons with the man, and they are also sold to this man. There is like this big ceremony in which the family of the man just surveys every woman available in this school, and they choose the ones that they think are better for their son, and then they buy them and they marry with their son. So it's a very like women are properties, and I love that we are going to have this down with the patriarchy dive in this book, because it makes me nervous just to think about it, about having these girls just being a skull like that. You have to be a woman who controls feelings, who does nothing, who just works to please your husband, and the other woman who you are going to be sexy and smart and funny and sassy, and you have to please your man too. And seeing these two women paired with this man, there is no love, there is nothing, there's only power, and seeing women like objects and things that can be played upon, and yeah, it's like And even if we don't have enough things in this book with that, we're going to find representation. We are going to find love between people of the same sex, which I love. And as I said before, in this book, it's so well writing that I was writing for them since page 1 almost, because the characters are amazing, and I'm going to go with the characters next. And I love that we have representation. So we have poor versus rich, power versus powerless. We have patriarchy, we have feminism, and we have same-sex relationships. So this book is all about inclusion, representation, and I have to say I love how well constructed the combo is, and how amazing the world that Tehlor has created, and how it all gets explained to you, so you never feel lost, and it's amazing. And about the characters, we are going to have two main characters, a girl called Daniela, that she's a primera, as I say, the ones that control her feelings and her abilities, and they are prized by their brains. And we are going to have a segunda, who's called Carmen, and I have to say I love her, who is very sexy and is very sassy, and they are prized because they play dumb, and they are just like pleasing flower pot, just to say that in some way. And we're going to have these two main characters. In the beginning, they kind of hate each other, and they're going to get thrown in the same household and be married to the same man. So I have to say that I love how these characters go from being A to B to C to Zeta to everything. I mean, I love them. Daniela is a girl who comes from a very poor background. She has falsified papers, and she has sent by her parents. They wanted her to have something more than they had, so they sent her to the school. They falsified the papers, they pretended that they were from other place where she had a chance to get to the school and be taught. And at the beginning she tries to do everything correctly because her parents expect her to have everything they didn't. And we are going to see her as a very controlled person. She wanted to just survive, to do what's right by what their parents sacrificed to get her where she is. And we are going to see her opening her eyes and realizing that while doing so, it's good in its way. It's also selfish because she hasn't been thinking about the people who has less chances than she has, the people who falls through the cracks, so to speak. And we are going to see her begin a relationship with the revolution that's called La Voz, and I'm not going to say much more because I love how she began thinking about chances and about the fact that depending on where you are born, you have some possibilities or another possibilities, and she wants to change the world, and it's amazing. And then we have Carmen, and I have to say that she isn't as dumb as they pretend Segundas to be. And I have to say that I don't know why, but I did love this character a lot. I mean, Daniela is so great, but Carmen doesn't fall behind. I'm wondering if the second book is going to be narrated from her side. I don't know. This one is narrated by Daniela, so we see things from her point of view. And yeah, I think that Carmen, it's an amazing character. We see her from the point of view of Daniela. There's times in which we see Carmen for who she is when she talks, but Carmen is an amazing woman who at the beginning hates Daniela, and we are going to see how she offers a hand, an offer of peace, of let's try to work together, we are married to the same man, we are in this shit together, let's try to make our best. And I love how she comes from being this cold, beautiful person who is a love and looks everyone like that. I love how she begins to show her humanity and her vulnerability and who she really is inside. And I have to say that Carmen is an amazing character. I'm not going to say much more, but the chapters are shortish. They are not really short, but the book is so good that they fly through your hands. I read this book in one day, and it's like 400 pages or so. Well, 1 day and a half. But I have to say that the plot is amazing because we are finding these girls thrown in the middle of the revolution where they have to choose where their allegiances lie. And we are going to see this wall that maybe it's not different from ours, sadly, where we have this wall that separates people into categories, into classes, into things, and we are going to see the people who have less trying to ask to have the same thing. And in the same way that they ask for equality, we are going to have girls trying to think that maybe they are not just flower pots, maybe they need to be something more, maybe they don't need to be hide behind a man. And also this capacity of being able to love whoever they want to love, and not being frowned upon, and realizing that feelings, something that feels good, love shouldn't be a cage. Love, you shouldn't fear love. Love shall empower you. And there is tons of things about this book that I love. I know that I didn't explain much about the plot, but there is lots of secrets and twists and things that you don't see coming with the revolution, with the main characters, with everything that's going on. So I'm not going to say much about the plot because I don't want to spoil it for you. But if you like a good book, a book that makes you think, a book with great characters that grow with just in front of your eyes, just make yourself a favor and pick this one because it's amazing. So thank you, Tehlor, for writing this, and I'm hoping to read the second one as soon as I can. Hi, bye.